If you're a freelancer making $2,000 to $5,000 a month right now, doing everything yourself, working on 50, 60 hours a week, this video is going to change how you think about your business. I've been exactly where you are. 2021, I was making 2 to 5 grand a month as a freelancer. Maxed out, could not take on more work, could not charge more. I mean, physically, it was hitting the ceiling of what one person can do. And now today, 2026, I run an agency doing 85 grand a month with a team of just 3 people. Same skills I had back then, same industry. The only thing that changed was the architecture. And what I'm going to show you today is the exact 5-stage framework that got me here. I call it the Agency Escape Velocity Framework. Each stage has a specific revenue range, a specific bottleneck that keeps you stuck, and a specific system that you need to build and break through. Now, most people fail this transition, not because they lack talent, but because they don't know what changes at each stage. They hire at the wrong time, they raise prices without systems, or try to scale products or service that was never meant to scale or that was never built to scale. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly which stage you are at, what's holding you back, and what to build next. Now, let me paint the picture most freelancers live in, because if this sounds familiar, this video is going to change how you think about your business. So you're good at what you do. Clients come through referrals, maybe some LinkedIn outreach. You are making 5K, 7K, or even 10K a month. From the outside, it looks great, but inside, you're drowning because each client depends on you personally. Every deliverable touches your hand. So when you stop selling to deliver, revenue drops. And when you stop delivering to sell, clients leave. So you're trapped in this continuous loop. And here's the math that broke my mind in 2021. And I call this the freelancer math problem, because your income is capped by your time. So let's say if you're working at $75 an hour and you're working every possible hour during the weekdays, that means you're working 160 hours a month. And if we calculate that, that counts to $12,000 a month at max. Now, if you want to hit $20,000, that is like 267 hours a month, which is unsustainable because it's 67% capacity. Well, talking about $50,000 a month, that's 667 hours a month, and you only have 720 hours in a month. So it's nearly impossible. And this is what I talk about the framework. So the freelancer model has a built-in ceiling. The agency model breaks it. But the transition, that is where 80% of the people fail. And most YouTube videos on this topic will give you generic advice, such as just hire someone or raise your price. But that is useless without knowing which stage you are at. So if you hire at stage 1, it is going to disrupt your business. Or if you're going to raise your prices at stage 3, you will face the same consequences. So it is important that you have a proper system, and that I'll be breaking it down for you. So the agency model, it breaks it down. It's 10 clients into $5,000 a month, which is $50,000 a month. So there's no time ceiling, and it scales with systems, not hours. Now, quick context before I get into this. This isn't theory. I myself have mapped this framework from 2021 to 2026, and with all the 85 clients that I work with. So the stages are same every time, and the mistakes are same every time. So let's get into the frameworks that I have. So the 5-stage framework, each stage has a specific bottleneck and a specific system to build. Most people fail because they don't know which stage they are at. First one is the skill trap. This is where every freelancer starts, and this is where I started when I was in 2021. So here you're selling hours for dollars. The client hire you because of your skills. Remember, this is where you are doing every single thing. Your hands, your brain, you are a generalist, which means you say like, I do Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, email marketing, and web design for anyone. Prospects hear that and think you're not particularly great at anything specific. What I mean by that is The bottleneck here is there is no positioning, which means you're competing on price against every other freelancer with similar skills. So you don't have a position. The only driving factor for a client to hire you is the price. The client shop for the cheapest option, and your income is mathematically capped by your hours. Here, the system to build is to pick a niche, package an outcome, and price as a monthly retainer. What I mean by that is you use the 4 criteria niche scoring framework, which is market size, ability to pay, clear pain point, and your credibility. And you have to score them from 1 to 10. And then you pick the highest total. So the reframe here would be from I am a Facebook ads specialist, which charges $50 an hour, to I help HVAC companies generate 40 plus booked jobs or calls per month. And that's $3,500 a month. Now you see the reframing here is not backed by hours. It is backed by the results. And so if we do the maths, $50 into 40 hours brings you $2,000 per client maximum. But on the other hand, if it's 3.5K as a retainer and you get 10 clients, that's $35,000 a month. Stage 2, the proof gap. So you have niched down now and you have a retainer offer. But here's the chicken and egg problem. Clients want case studies before hiring you. So you need clients to build case studies. Now it's very important, guys, that you understand that this chicken and egg problem is important and you have to work accordingly to get case studies in order to scale your business. So during your initial stages, and that happened with me as well, was every sales conversation, it stalls at one single point, which is, do you have any results to show? How do I trust you? What are the previous clients that you work with? And I'm pretty sure you watching this video would relate to it, right? So the bottleneck here is there is no documented proof. So without case studies, your close rate stays at 5 to 10%. And you are asking people to take a risk on an unproven service. So price objection dominates every call. And this is where you have to understand the system that you have to build, which is the $500 case study strategy. What you do is you find one ideal prospect, you charge them $500. It is cost recovery. It is not free, but it is a very, very minimal amount. Now, you might be thinking, why is that? Well, you over deliver for 60 days, but here's the kicker. You document every single thing, screenshots, metrics, video testimonial, whatever you could. And then you use that as a proof to close 5 to 10 clients at full price. Now, you understand what you do essentially is when you are doing this, by charging one client $500 and over delivering, you are using that case study to close 10 more clients. So why this works is $500 investment for case study. You get $150,000 in contracts from that proof if you're closing like 10 deals, and close rate increases to 20 to 30%. So that is how you come or overcome the proof gap. Number 3, the pipeline desert. Now you have clients, you have proof, revenue is real, but growth has stalled because you're spending 80% of the time on delivery and only 20% on growth. This is where it is one of the toughest transition, because at this point you have what it takes to close clients and to bring them results, but bringing them the result is the bottleneck here because you are doing everything. So your focus is deviated from growth. So what you need to understand is that the client should not be your personal effort, right? Revenue is a roller coaster month because if you are stalling in growth, you are not able to acquire new clients. So the bottleneck here is there is no acquisition system. The pipeline depends entirely on founder effort, and when you deliver, pipeline dries up. When you sell, delivery slips. So you are stuck in a loop that caps growth. And remember, this relates to the freelancer problem that you had, because that's the same case, that you have to do everything for the clients. Now, what is the system to build here? So the system is a 90-day acquisition sprint. It is built 3 pipeline channels that produce leads without you personally doing every touch point. And the goal is to build a situation where there is pipeline independence from the founder. So you as a founder should have that independence. So what does the 90-day playbook looks like? Month one, it's outbound blitz. So 30 LinkedIn connections a day, 20 personalized emails a day, 10 niche comments a day. So the goal is 10 calls and you get 2 closes out of it. Month two is add content, which is continue outbound daily, but start posting on LinkedIn, case studies and frameworks. And then our goal is to increase with calls and closes. And month three, you activate the referrals, which is ask every client for one intro, increase the number of LinkedIn posts, increase the number of channels that is producing, pipeline. And then you start growing the pipelines from those channels. Number four, the founder bottleneck. Now, this is very, very, very important, guys. This is the stage that kills agencies. Revenue looks healthy from the outside, but the inside is chaotic. You're selling, delivering, managing a team, handling client escalations, and doing operations. So you are working 65 hours a week and revenue is flat. So here you need to understand one thing. The answer isn't more clients. The answer is removing yourself from delivering and establishing a system where the system runs without you. And this is where you start growing. What is the bottleneck here? The bottleneck here is that you are still doing the work. Now, every deliverable touches your hands. You spend 70% on delivery, 20% on sales, 10% on strategy. So growth is impossible because you have zero time for it, right? And a bad hire or a bad first hire costs 60 to 80K in wasted time and money. So you're skeptical about that and you're spending all your time with doing every single thing and not focusing on the growth. So the system to build here is a 3 hire sequence. So you have to understand one thing, that you have to hire for pipeline first, delivery second, and operations third. Very important to follow the stage. Each hire is triggered by a specific revenue milestone and a capacity threshold. So don't hire in desperations. I've seen numerous of my friends, of the clients that I see, that they hire in desperation and it costs them time and money, and it really stalls the trajectory that they actually had for growth. So the sequence is hire one should be SDR for lead generation, right? It's the highest leverage hire because it's going to double your pipeline, it's going to bring in more leads and ultimately more revenue. The second is the delivery specialist, which is it removes you from execution, someone who can handle delivery on your behalf and fulfill the client's results. And third is account manager. So it is basically removing you from client communication, someone who handles onboarding, check-ins, escalations, and now you are actually the CEO overviewing the company and managing how to grow the company instead of being on the ground and actually, doing everything for client, delivery, operations, and all of that stuff. Stage 5, the system scale. And as I like to call it, this is where the freelancer mindset dies completely and the CEO is born. So essentially here you have a team, but they're running on tribal knowledge. Onboarding is inconsistent. Quality depends on who's working that day. You don't have a dashboard or SOPs or a weekly rhythm. So systems don't just scale revenue, they scale quality. So the bottleneck here is there is no operating system. Team is running on tribal knowledge, the new hires take weeks to ramp, and the client experience varies widely. So the system to build here is the 5 core agency systems. You need to build this before you need them because it is very, very important that the transition is smooth. Once you have all of these 5 running, you're in the CEO mode, sales, strategy, team leadership. It's just not execution. It's properly built systems. And the 5 core agency systems are lead gen, sales, delivery, client comms, and team management. Now, this was the 5 stages that is very important. And you being a freelancer would 100% relate with either of these stages. So this will bring you clarity as to how you need to change. What are the steps that you need to take? I have completed the full roadmap, the complete freelancer to agency owner roadmap, which contains niche scoring, offer packaging, case study strategy, hiring sequences, pricing ladder, and the 12-month plan with revenue targets. So it has all the worksheets, it has all the workbooks. This is something that I personally have used over the years, that I send to all my clients. So if you want the full roadmap, just comment agency in the comment section, and I'll reach out, and or my team will reach out and send you the entire blueprint. Also comment where exactly you are at. I personally read through all the comments and I see everything where people are lacking. So if you are having a specific question with specific stage that you are at, or if you need help with growing out of that stage after you have tried enough and are not able to get it, see, you can just reach out to the team. You can just book an audit call as well, and yeah, just comment, and I'll make sure that I go through it and I make sure that we help you best. I hope the video makes sense, and if it is something that is helping you out, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.